Hello everybody and welcome back to RogueTech, where last episode we captured a marauder, and now we need to take a look at it and see what we want to do with it. I'm thinking maybe a replacement for the hoplite. But let's see what we've got here. We need to look at hardpoints, we need to look at what size of engine core it currently has. It currently has a 300. We could definitely put in... Dual sniper artilleries is not going to happen, I'm pretty certain. But we could go to a sniper artillery instead of a thumper artillery. That is actually an interesting option. Do we have sniper artillery ammo? No. The answer is no, we don't. This definitely uses sniper artillery ammo, right? Like a specific sniper ammo? Yes. Okay. So let's go ahead and hit this repair button. It defaults to an engine core 300. Okay, let's max this armor just to see what we've got to work with here. We've got a tag here, we've got an ER PPC and a pair of ER medium lasers out on this arm. Let's strip the equip for now, which is just the tag and those lasers and the ER PPC. That's fine. So looking at hardpoints here, we've got a ballistic hardpoint in this torso. A sniper artillery would be an interesting option here, but... apparently we can't put that there. Reserved slots. Mech requires 7 additional free slots. I feel like there's a lot of free slots. Some of these are floating, right? 13 floating slots. So it requires 7 slots in this location. And then 13 floating slots, which we definitely have. Okay, I'm not sure why it's not letting us do that. But we can think about our engine core for right now. And that would end up being, we have 3 clan double heat sinks and a bunch of regular heat sinks. I'm thinking right now about our heat sinking, but for now that's okay. We could go with like a ballistic accuracy if we're going to make this be an artillery boat, but I don't know that that's going to be a viable thing. It comes default with an engine core 300. So that gives us 24 tons to work with. A sniper artillery is 20 tons. Where is it trying to put these 6 additional free slots into? I don't actually know. But last time we tried that, it said 7. Okay. Well, we can definitely put some engine heatsink plus 2 in here. That's a thing that we can absolutely do. So that puts us at decent as far as the heat efficiency goes. We could decide to make this like a replacement for the Shadowhawk. It does not have missile hardpoints. So it would be kind of like a hybrid Shadowhawk and like Black Knight almost. So we'd go for like some significant numbers of like medium or medium pulse lasers, most likely, and then like a big AC-20 or something like that. So that would be the idea here. We're kind of abandoning the artillery concept because we don't have any sniper artillery ammo anyway. So that's not really a viable option for right now. We could maybe do that later. But what if we were to go for something along the lines of a bunch of medium lasers here? So this is going to be some heat issues, almost certainly. But a bunch of medium lasers here. So we've got ER medium lasers, something like this, and then we can replace this ER medium laser. That gives us 16 tons to work with in terms of heat sinks, ammo, and this ballistic weapon. There's also this tag here, which is an interesting thing to include. We might want to have a tag in something like this. That's definitely fascinating. So beyond that, that fills up all of... oh, we do have 1 additional medium laser slot here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this medium laser, put it in the CT, and then put this guy back over here. So that gives us 14 tons to work with. Then, how heavy would an AC-20 be? We've got this HVAC AC-20 here. That would be 14 tons. Okay, so we're definitely running low on weight, but that's okay. We could also theoretically run the UAC-5. Do we have ammo for that? If we need additional weight, we could do that. Yeah, we've got UAC-5 ammo. So we could put the HVAC-20 ammo here. This would give us 4 shots. Okay, we definitely want at least 2 tons of this ammo. Maybe like 4 tons of the ammo. That would give us 16 shots of the HVAC-20, which is probably sufficient. So, I mean, this thing does a lot of damage. These medium lasers are very efficient. We might go down to regular medium lasers because the heat here is not great, right? There's no doubt about that. How many heat sinks would we need to pack onto this thing to make this at all viable? The answer is a lot. Let's find out. This is going to be kind of crazy in terms of the heat sinks. Obviously, we're way overweight, and I get that. But I want to just see how many heat sinks we would need to make this viable. Okay, so we really need double heat sinks if we want to make it like this. There's no doubt about that. This is kind of ridiculous at this point. Okay. This is a lot of heat sinks. This is hilarious. Okay, so it would need to be basically completely full of heat sinks, and there's still a heat delta of 4 heat. I mean, we can definitely tone down, have less of a heat delta, but we're clearly going to need to downgrade our ER medium lasers. That's not shocking. I knew that that would likely end up being the case. So I'm going to ditch these heat sinks. They are hilarious, but obviously we don't want to do this. If we want to go to ER medium lasers, we're going to need double heat sinks. That is very, very clear at this point. But we're going to have to free up some weight as it is right now, and we do need some heat sinks. So let's ditch the ER medium lasers. And we're going to go down to just regular medium lasers. So we don't have any variant types of medium lasers. That's fine. We're just going to go to regular mediums. So we've got medium here, 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 and then a medium here, here, and here. And then we could go for like a small laser here. So maybe like an ER small laser. That would be 9 heat compared to the medium laser heat, which is, I think, also 9 heat. Okay, so yeah, something like a ER small laser diverse optics here would be approximately the same as a medium laser in terms of heat. So that puts us at 2.875 tons overweight. At this point, we would go for something like... We don't have the greatest in terms of our FCSs here. But maybe we'd end up going for ballistic FCS. Does the HVAC have recoil? Yes. Okay. So that's fine. We can put in ferrofibrous armor. That gives us 1 ton overweight still. We could go with an XL engine. That gives us a lot of weight to work with. No doubt about that. So we'd have 8.5 tons to work with. I don't know what we do with that half ton. This combat shield is carry capacity, right? That'd be an interesting thing to put on. No doubt about that. That is, I think, an allowed thing there. Now, this is very expensive, no doubt about that. And we're going to need to put some heat sinks on. So, how many heat sinks do we need? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 heat sinks. Puts us at a heat delta of 19 heat. Okay, so obviously we still want double heat sinks here. That would be ideal. It is unfortunate that the double heatsink kit and all of the double heatsinks were destroyed, but it is what it is. There's not a lot we can do about that. We could think we don't have a clan heatsink kit. So we can't actually go to clan double heatsinks, which is sad. I also wouldn't mind having case down in these legs. That would be kind of ideal. Unfortunately for us, we don't have the slots for it. So what I would like to do here is I'd like to put in 1 additional heatsink. Our heat is still going to be a little bit of an issue on this mech until we can upgrade the heatsinks. That's definitely going to be a thing. I don't love the Clan Engine XL here, but I mean, this mech is solidly armored. I don't want to drop armor even for that 0.46 tons. Do we ditch the tag? That would give us extra weight. We could ditch the ER small laser. That would put us pretty close. Alternatively, how much would we have to remove from these legs? The answer is quite a lot. Yeah, we'd have 139 in each leg, and I don't love what we have going on with this HVAC 20. However, we do have an option here, and that option is we ditch the HVAC 20, which will save us weight, and we ditch the ammo for it. What that then allows us to do is put in the UAC 5, which is less damage than the AC 20, yes. But if we hit both of those, it'll do 10 less damage. It's less recoil as well, but that plus 100% crit on the HVAC 20 is really good. No doubt about that. But we could put a UAC 5 in here, and then we could put some UAC 5 ammo in, and we would be a lot more weight efficient on the ammo as well. So what we would end up being able to do is put in 20 UAC 5 ammo. So that gives us 10 turns of firing both, assuming no jam. And we could put in another ton of UAC 5 ammo over here. Then we could still put in case to protect our legs. Let's see here. Equip. We could put in case here. So I would probably end up going with case 1. What's the difference between case 1 and case 2? Reduces internal explosion damage to only 5 points, whereas case prevents it from traveling towards the center torso. I see. However, case 1 is only half a ton. So we can put that... Oh, it's not permitted to add case. Fascinating. Can we add case 2? We can, but we don't have 2 case 2s. That is very interesting that we're not allowed to add case there. So I guess all we're going to do then is put both of our UAC 5 ammos over here to reduce the chance of... So we have a safe side over this way. And that's also the side with the combat shield. Does that combat shield actually... Installed arm gains 20% damage reduction. Okay, so yeah, we want it installed on the safe side here because we want to be facing this side towards the enemy. So that makes a lot of sense. The UAC 5 is a small downgrade over the HVAC 20, but overall we get a lot of additional things to do here. So we can add in more heat sinks. And so we shall. I'll add in a couple of additional heat sinks here. And is this overkill on the heat sinks? Heat delta is -4 heat, so we can remove this heat sink, and we still have 4 tons to work with. What do we want to do with that 4 tons at this point? Well, obviously we can do this. Now we have 3.5 tons to work with. We could definitely put in like an AMS. That's a theoretical option. So let's see here. Weapons, we could put in an AMS. We have 1 hard point for that. So where would we have an AMS in here? I'm pretty sure we do have one. Maybe. Is that under equip? Maybe we don't have an AMS. A comm suite might not be too bad to put in here. We could definitely do that. We've still got 3.5 tons to work with. We have our biggest engine core that we can. So maybe like a Beagle probe? Plus 10% sensors and plus 15% sight seems okay. We could also maybe put in an ECM. That would be another 1.5 tons. So we could put in a Guardian ECM over here. That would be pretty decent. And then beyond that, we still have half a ton to work with. We could upgrade this ER small laser to a medium laser. The ER small laser does how much damage? 15 plus or minus 5. So between 10 and 20 damage. Whereas a regular medium laser, which we actually don't have any available of, would end up doing 25 damage. We could go for an ER medium laser. It would be a little higher heat. But we could put this in here, and that would put our heat efficiency at a heat delta of 5 heat. Honestly, that seems super manageable, and we're at 0.04 tons. Okay. So this is intended to be a replacement then for the Shadowhawk. Do it. That'll take 27 days. But yeah, it'll be decent. The Shadowhawk has a lot of MRMs, which I would be a little loath to give up. But overall, that wouldn't be too bad. Let's prioritize work on the Marauder, but it's not going to be done in time for the financial report. So let's tick forward a little bit here and work on getting these mechs finished up, except for the Marauder. There we go. Now let's hop into our barracks and let's do some training here. What do we got? We can grab a point of tactics for Capo.
Mech warrior training complete.
For Coach, that's all fine. Gorgon, GV, yep, hard case. For Clist, we can grab a point of piloting. Seems okay. For Magus, you're fine. For Plato, a point of guts sounds pretty good.
Training complete.
For Romeo, do you do anything? He's a vehicle-only pilot, and we don't have any vehicles for him. I'm just going to leave him untrained for the moment. We don't know what he's going to pilot yet. And Weasel Cakes is good to go. So let's hop into the command center here. I want to get a quick mission done. Is that Duo Duel still in here? I think it may not be. That's a battle, target acquisition, recovery, battle, blackout, capture base. We're looking for a very quick mission here indeed. Like a solo or duo duel would be ideal. Nope, none of these are available at this time. Okay, so we may want to do a quick battle like this one. Old timers with poorly maintained mechs. Let's just see if we can very quickly make our way through this. I think we run it straight down the middle. This is against Word of Blake. That seems absolutely fine. And we can deploy this as is. Let's go. Darius thinks it'll be hard. Darius is probably wrong. I'll see you guys after the loading screen. Okay, so here we are all loaded up, and let's see what we've got here. It's going to be a Word of Blake Lance, so there will be 6 units, but we should be able to get through them pretty quickly unless they've got reinforcements. We'll find out. We do have allies, and there's strong wind. Okay, noted. They are up over here. Okay, I'd like to just spawn as close as we can, somewhere around here, and we're just going to head directly at them. I want to get this done quickly. We don't have a lot of time left in this episode, and ideally, I'd like this not to roll into 2 episodes. Okay, so we see a chameleon up on the hill, and that's actually the only thing that we see right now. I would like it if our centaur would be able to move here. We are calculating. Okay, now we can position up over here and update our sensors. We see a blackjack, we see an assassin, Ostrock 2, Lancelot, and Grasshopper. Okay. Looks pretty decent. And we're just going to advance forward as much as we can for right now. Our crossbow can position here. Okay, so this is a Steiner Lance. That'll only be 4 units. Our hoplite is going to position here and brace because we want to be able to fire that artillery next round. Our trebuchet can make its way into this cover is the word I'm looking for. There we go. We can move forward with our Shadowhawk, which will soon be retired. And that seems absolutely fine for the moment. That Ostrock 2 is moving forward. These mechs don't appear to be all that poorly maintained. They're a little poorly maintained, but they're not super poorly maintained. So our rifleman is going to head up. We don't have LOS on a lot of things here. They're kind of hiding behind this cover. And our grasshopper will sprint forward as much as it can.
I'm ready.
As will our Black Knight. And that can position about here for now. Okay. Enemy turn, the chameleon is exiting its position up on this ridge, which is probably smart. It doesn't really want to be skylined up there. I wouldn't either. This assassin is pushing forward. That is a good target for us now. This Lancelot actually is a great target for us if it's not in cover. It is in cover. Okay, noted. This grasshopper closing in a little bit, but they're mostly just running at us, and that's exactly what I want to see. Okay, so now our centaur can move over to be somewhere like here-ish. Alternatively, we can go for the side arc on this blackjack, and I think that that is the correct option here. So I'm going to position it here, and we're going to hit the side arc on the blackjack. This is going to do a decent amount of damage, but it's not necessarily going to kill us. Yeah, solid damage to the blackjack, but we don't break the armor. That is reasonably expected. We'll see what our allies do. They've got a Phoenix Hawk land air mech. They've got a fire starter. I mean, they're dropping bombs on this grasshopper. No, that's just missiles. Never mind. The grasshopper takes a little damage there. Excellent. So the Shadowhawk is going to be engaging up over here. We're going to have a lot of mechs engaging this Lancelot, actually. The Blackjack is firing on that Phoenix Hawk land air mech. I love that choice for us. I don't love that choice for them. The Hoplite at this point probably wants to hit this Ostrak 2 as it's the most centrally located mech. And let's just fire that. A solid hit onto that Ostrak 2. I like it. So next up in phase 17 is going to be this Chameleon back here probably, but the Firestarter is going to jump and fire on that Blackjack. Ooh, dual large lasers and some LRMs. That is a pretty decent fire support Firestarter in a pretty decent position. This Lancelot moves up and it's going to shoot at us, for sure. Yeah, it fires on the Hoplite. That's not shocking. The Hoplite has no evasive right now, and it's not in cover, so I'm not surprised about that one. Next up is going to be our Shadowhawk. Now, the Shadowhawk could engage this Blackjack. This would be a charge, I believe. Yeah, I don't want to charge. And we absolutely could move up and hit Side Arc on the Blackjack. I think the Blackjack is a really good target for fire support right now. So I kind of want to position the Shadowhawk fairly aggressively up over this way. And we can fire on just whatever our hit odds are best on, which is going to be this Ostrak. These hit odds are very low. Did we fail our sensor roll? No, just target move +6. Okay. Cool. So we're going to do what we can for this Ostrak. We're just softening it up a little bit. We're not expecting too much out of that one. And now the Ostrak and the Grasshopper are going to close in, and I expect them to attack our Shadowhawk. But we have 7 evasive there, and we should be reasonably okay. Yeah, he missed almost everything there. That was magnificent. Next up is going to be our crossbow. And the crossbow I would like to put here. And we're going to fire on the Blackjack. Structure exposure and a bunch of damage internally to that Blackjack. It might also be unsteady. Not quite. Okay. So next up will be the Ostrak. I expect that to also go for the Shadowhawk or to round this corner and attack some of our mechs that are back here. That would be fine too. Going for the Shadowhawk. Sounds good. No concerns whatsoever there.
Light damage, Commander.
Okay, so the Trebuchet is going to position about here. That's a little too close. About here. And we're going to fire on this Blackjack. This could kill the Blackjack. We'll see what happens. And indeed it does. Fantastic. So -1 Blackjack. Next up, our primary target is likely going to end up being this Assassin for our fire support due to the positioning of the Shadowhawk. I want to get the Shadowhawk around here next round to be attacking the rear arc of this Lancelot. That would be the ideal scenario. We'll see if that ends up happening. The Assassin runs away. Who's their phase 12 mover? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, the Chameleon. Right, they've got the Chameleon and the Assassin. I was conflating them in my mind for some reason. The Chameleon positioned up over here. Okay, that seems fine. So the Rifleman at this point has a choice, and it can fire on this Ostrak or the Grasshopper. The Grasshopper is the obvious choice given the hit odds.
Locked on target.
That was pretty good, actually. All of those hit the same place in that CT, and that Grasshopper is actually in quite a lot of danger now. I'm going to position our Black Knight here, and we're going to continue to focus that Grasshopper. Looking for the internal damage there. I don't think it happened. But next up is our Grasshopper, which I don't love these positions. This is a much better position, despite the sprint reducing our hit odds. So we can fire the AC-20 at their Grasshopper, and we did miss it, but we got some internal damage there and destroyed a medium laser. That's not ideal. But it was okay. Next up, our Centaur is going to chase down this Assassin. Depending on hit odds, we might kill it here. we're not super close. We'll see how that goes. A lot of internal damage there, and a destruction of the LRM-5, but the assassin is not down. I'm not shocked about that. So next up in phase 20 is going to be not the land air mech, actually it's the fire starter. And that's going to fire on that Ostrak, getting a large laser and a few missile hits in there. I like it. Then is going to be our Trebuchet, and I want to position it here. And I want to continue to crit fish inside of this torso.
Everything I've got.
LRM ammo explosion. The explosion was contained, but that's a lot of heat into that grasshopper. And the grasshopper is really close to being knocked over as well. So the rifleman can position here, and that should be a pretty free shot. I'm not going to fire the medium lasers. We did stray shot the autocannon. That's unfortunate. But that should be a knockdown on that grasshopper, so that's okay. Cool. That was actually quite a lot of internal damage to the grasshopper there. It was in this arm. Okay. So the Phoenix Hawk moves up. Really? It goes for the Ostrak indirect there when the grasshopper is right there. I don't like that choice. I don't think that's a good choice at all. So next up is going to be the Chameleon. And we'll see what that... Actually, it's going to be the Lancelot. That is rounding this corner and hitting our Black Knight. So the Lancelot is, I think at this point, a pretty good target for a lot of our units. It's got 4 evasive.
Receiving you.
Our crossbow can definitely back off a little bit and hit the Lancelot in the side arc.
Position confirmed.
It doesn't have hit odds on this grasshopper, so I think that's okay. This is actually going to soften up this Lancelot considerably. It straight up one-shot it. Wow.
Hostile removed.
Well, so much for the Lancelot. Okay, we'll take that. Next up, our Grasshopper is going... Actually, it's not the Grasshopper that's moving. It is currently the Hoplite. The Hoplite is just going to drop artillery on their Grasshopper. It's far enough away. Let's do it. Some internal damage there. Looks good. Pilot does panic. And now is going to be definitely the Chameleon. They have 4 units left, and a couple of those are actually very close to dead. So this is looking good, timing-wise. Maybe a little bit of a long episode, but that's okay. A lot of time was spent on the Marauder. They're attacking the Centaur there. Was that machine guns?
That was sloppy.
I don't think... maybe. Maybe.
Commander.
So our Grasshopper is going to close in here. We're going for the kill on their Grasshopper. This is just free. And there we go. 1 dead Grasshopper. So now we have some units that are able to attack this guy, the Ostrak 2. That is our Shadowhawk, and I would like to move our Shadowhawk potentially into the rear arc here. Yes. I like the rear arc. Unfortunately, we have a jammed machine gun, but we're going to take this rear arc attack. So we melee the Ostrak successfully. We do penetrate the armor there, and we see an SRM ammo explosion, along with a bunch of heat sinks. Okay. The Ostrak does get to move immediately, but that did do a lot of damage to it. No doubt about that. It is in a very bad position. It's going to go behind our Shadowhawk and try to do the same thing? No. The pilot just panics and ejects. Okay, well, that's one way to do things. We do see the Chameleon skylined up over here, so that now becomes a fire support target. And this Assassin is engaging down over this way, trying to hit our Centaur. The Centaur will kill it next round. I'm not concerned about that. So everybody's going to be firing at the Chameleon if they have LOS.
Waiting for orders.
So at this point, that would be our Black Knight. The Black Knight can position here. Only 46% hit odds, but let's see if we soften it up at all. We do not. That's fine. That Chameleon's been moving a lot, but focused fire is going to bring it down eventually, so that's fine. At this point, our Centaur definitely goes rear arc melee attack on the Assassin. Unfortunately, it's only 5 evasive, but that might bait the Chameleon into doing something dumb. We'll see.
Moving out.
This should definitely be a kill on this Assassin. We did miss the melee attack, which is sad.
That's a clean miss.
But it should still kill. And yeah, there we go. LRM ammo explosion into very dead unit, and apparently we're calculating. Sure, that seems fine. So the fire starter is not going to shoot at anything at all. The land air mech is moving away, and it does soften the chameleon a little bit with some internal damage missiles there. That was through armor, so okay, cool.
Commander?
At this point, our crossbow wants to get LOS, and it has LOS. Let's just advance a little bit, and we'll fire our LRMs. Hit odds are not the greatest,
Firing.
but let's soften this guy up. Okay. Yeah, he's definitely softening, but there's a fair amount of armor still there. The rifleman can position here, and we can continue to fire the ERPPC AC5 combos. I'm not going to fire this ERPPC to drop heat, but the rest of them. And we missed it all. That's fine. I'm not shocked about that one. Okay, phase 15 is going to be our Grasshopper. The Grasshopper can get LOS from here. It is an obstructed LOS, but we can still take this pot shot. Maybe we get something decent out of it, or maybe we get nothing at all, which is what we got. That's fine. We're having a hard time hitting this chameleon. It's the only remaining enemy unit, though, and it only has 2 evasive, so there is that. But it's definitely proving difficult to hit, but once we get a little more closed in, it should be fine. So we're going to continue to soften its armor a little bit here. The chameleon is now unsettled. It'll get to move soon, and we'll see what it does here. Does it move like over here and go after our centaur, or does it pull back from this ridgeline? It goes for the Grasshopper.
Reporting major armor loss.
I feel like that's not the move, but okay. So our hoplite is going to drop artillery directly on it, and I'm going to fire chaff countermeasures as well. Okay. Got some decent hits there. It's close to being unsteady. The Shadowhawk could get LOS out over here. Alternatively, we could move around here and next round be in position to flank it. And that's what I'm going to do with the Shadowhawk. With the Black Knight, we can position it here and light it up a bit. Hopefully we get enough stability there to remove its evasive. Lasers aren't good at that, but we did get enough. Excellent. So that'll do. Next up is our Centaur, and the Centaur can position, actually it can go up over here. Remarkable. We're going to position here. I'm surprised it can scale this cliff, but okay. We're going to hit this thing side arc in its strong side, but its strong side isn't very strong. It could die to this.
What will I lead?
That's significant damage,
Take that as a lesson.
and it really can't take this for much longer. Next up would be our hoplite again. I don't really want to fire the artillery. We're going to fire everything else.
I'm on it.
Okay, more internal damage there.
Critical hit, Commander.
Looks good. The chameleon pilot is now panicked, which makes sense. And the crossbow will, I think, very likely finish the job here.
Affirmative.
Engine crits there.
Solid connection.
Pilot is knocked down. We might not be able to see it from down below now. Pilot ejects. Okay, all good. So we are done. Let's go home. Why is this reserve button here? Okay, whatever. We're just going to hit continue. Beautiful. So, at this point, what do we want for salvage? There's probably not a lot of great salvage there. We mostly did that for the money to help make up for what we spent on the Marauder, which was considerable. This is about half of that, but it's not going to fully make up for it. Okay, it's about a third of that. Never mind. So that's okay. Our damage that we took was very minimal. We could take this cockpit voice for the +2 initiative. That's potentially an interesting thing. Beyond that, there's not a lot that we're super interested in. We could take a Grasshopper part and just call that good and see what we get out of the roulette. A few parts. Large Laser Exostar, we'll keep that around. LRM-5, not too interested in. Generic heat sinks, we don't need more of that, but there is a ferrofibrous armor that we got out of it, so I guess we'll take that. That is absolutely fine. Repairs aren't going to be too expensive. Not too expensive at all. but that's absolutely okay. So, I'm not expecting the repairs to be more than about 40,000, I think, and take like 4 days. I'm not expecting much at all. We didn't take much damage, that's for sure. The real question is, how are we looking on getting the Marauder complete? Because I would like to do that. That would be a good replacement for the Shadowhawk. Okay, 50,000 in 8 days. Sure. 8 days is a little longer. I do want to prioritize the Marauder. That will not be done before this financial report, but that's okay. It is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to get these repairs done and maybe bring the Marauder out for a spin, but probably not quite yet. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Andy McGar, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12UK, Kentogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.